When a relationship is over, some people just can't take no for an answer. How can someone love another person one day and terrorize them the next? Listen to this.
January the 18th, you pulled that knife on me and held it to me.
It was Rod. Lisa, you're out of your league. And you want to play hardball?
No, I want you out of my life. I don't want to play hardball. I don't play nothing with you. I want you out of my life. I want you to stop calling me, stop coming to my house.
We're hearing terrifying stories of women who almost died at the hands of their stalkers. You just heard one on that audio tape. And we'll find out from a man who to this day continues, according to some, to stalk his own 10-year-old daughter, threatening to kidnap her. And we'll find out from Congressman Joe Kennedy about what's happening on Capitol Hill to finally protect you from people who prey on the ones they love. It's all next right here on the Maury Povich Show. Today, we're going to find out what makes someone stalk someone that they say they love, terrorize them, frightening them, even trying at times to kill them. Let's move on. Lisa dated a man who fell in love with her on the second date. Things started getting kind of out of hand when she didn't return his advances. So he ends up trying to kill you?
Yes, he did.
All because of what?
Because he said that I had made him fall in love with me, and that when I expressed a little hesitation, I mean, he was coming on so strong. You know, the second date, this man tells me that he's madly in love with me, he wants to marry me, and, you know, I was working on my career and I had things to do, and just something didn't quite feel right. It was a gut feeling, and I said, well, no, you know, I kind of want to cool it, and I made myself less available, and that really sent him in a tizzy, and it built up to the point where, over the course of a year.
We talk about stalking. Is this a classic stalker?
Yes.
What did he do?
He would sit outside my home and watch, you know, when I was home. He would sit outside my work to make sure I was at work. He would call me at the office to make sure I was there. He would call me all hours of the day and night to see if I was home. And then it got to the point where that wasn't enough. He would break into my home while I was at work.
Now, wait a minute. That's a crime. See, here's the problem with stalking. Stalking itself is not a crime. It's only what a stalker does that becomes a crime.
That's right.
If he kidnaps his daughter, that's a crime. If he breaks into your house, that's a crime.
But the problem was, I was at work. The thing I kept hearing from the police was, how do we know he doesn't have a key? They started questioning me.
Right.
And I really got, you know, furious about this. I said, well, look, this guy is bluffing. He's saying all of this. You know, just like she said, he's threatening this now. How do I know he's not going to carry it out? Maybe it's just talk. Maybe you're going to find me in a ditch somewhere 2 weeks from now, face down. I don't know.
So how did this escalate?
It escalated to the point where he just really got on my nerves. He was, you know, I was a record promoter. My job was to be on the phone. He was calling me, and so he put my job in jeopardy to the point where I ended up losing my job. And when I was at work, he would go to my home, break in, he would listen to my answering machine, and he would leave Post-it notes in my house to let me know that he had been in every room of my house. It was the psychological, it was the intimidation factor that I can get to you wherever you are at any time. He would say, the third call is from your father, blah, blah, blah. He went through my desk, he would write on my calendar, you know, date with me tonight. He went through my underwear drawer and he would like leave a note on particular, I like these pair, can you wear these on our next date? It was things like that, to, you know, it was, like I said, it was all a big head game. And the thing that he got me on, he got to know me. These stalkers know their victims very well. Usually it's someone you know, it's someone you work with. And for that very reason, you don't tell people what's going on because you think, they won't believe me. You know, he's an upstanding citizen. Did you go to the police and
tell them all this, the Post-it notes, everything?
Yes, I did.
Going through your underwear drawer, everything?
Yes.
So
I thought, I've got to take this into my own hands.
And what were your own hands?
I thought, you know, one night it really hit me that I was giving him the power over me by not telling someone. Couldn't fight him. He had the home field advantage. So I thought, okay, fine. I was really getting very angry, and it got to the point where he wanted to take me out for my birthday. And I said, I don't want to go out with you on my birthday. I don't want to go out with you ever. He spent that whole day drinking. I found out later from doing some research and investigation on my own. And the next night, when I came home from work, it was about 10 o'clock, he broke into my home. I heard something, and I was at the other end of the house, and by the time I got in, he was in the kitchen, and he ended up holding me hostage in my own home and beating and terrorizing me for 4.5 hours. I tried to call 911 4 or 5 times. He ripped the phone in the kitchen out. He ripped the phone in the living room out. And finally, after 4.5 hours, I realized you can't out-muscle him, but you can outsmart him. So I just said, oh, yeah, we really do need to talk about this. I'm going to go wash off my face, get me a glass of water, and we'll sit down and we'll talk about this. He's like, well, good. Now you finally see it my way. Yeah. Well, I ran to the back bedroom, my last phone, and called the police.
And what happened?
And by the time they got there, he was gone, but he said, if you have me arrested, I may be in jail, but my friends and my brothers will come after you.
Right. Here's a tape. I think we heard a part of it in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Of the show? Yeah. Here's a tape you taped when he called and you talked to him one time.
I've never hit you a day in my life.
You have slapped me. I have got pictures of my face bruised up.
I never slapped you, did you?
Yes, you have.
No, and I got it on.
You're a damn liar.
I got you on tape stating that I did. You said, well, you manhandled me.
Yeah, you did. You grabbed me by the throat, slammed me up against the wall. Look, you're crazy, and I am done with this.
Okay.
I don't care what it's going to take to get you away from me, but you are going to stop this. You are going to stop calling me. You are going to stop seeing me, and I don't care what it takes. I'm going to turn you over to the authorities. I am done with this. I have tried to break up with you, and you will not leave me alone. It's time.
Well, that's...
You can't accuse me of leading him on, can you?
Yeah, right. Did the authorities finally respond?
Yeah, after that night, you know, I said he had roughed me up, and I had physical evidence that this person had broken into my home. You know, he had roughed me up. I had bruises. I had cuts. My face was swollen. And I filed, you know, the police report, and then they escorted me to hiding to another friend's house. And that's when I made up my mind that I was going to tell everyone I knew, my bosses, my family, my friends, that if they saw him, he was wanted by the police. Well, he hid out, and his friends and family, you know, took care of it. But I called his mother. I called everyone. I said, this is what he's doing.
What did his mother say?
Now, Lisa, now and he didn't do that. Now, you know, why, you know, you just want to go out there, and why don't you kids just, you know, quit seeing each other? I said, he's the one that's bothering me. I'm not calling him. I'm not following him. I'm not doing this. Did you finally
have to leave town?
Finally, I ended up, he has my social security number. He was following me. Every time I got my name changed to a non-published number, he would get it. And I didn't know how he was getting this information. I thought, I got to get out of here. He's got the home field advantage.
So basically, he chased you out of town?
Yeah. I had to pack up my life, leave my career, and start all over.
Have you heard of him since?
Yes, I have. He found me.
And?
And I had not heard from him in about 2.5 years. And I started working for this detective agency as a spokesperson. You know, I started my career as an actress and doing commercials and things. And I was on television, and he saw me, and that got him all worked up again. And it only took him 6 days from the time he made up his mind to find me. And he called me one day at my home and said, I've seen you. You looked very lovely. You know, it's still not too late. I'll still take you back. You know, I hope you haven't sold your soul, you know, for your career, and I'll still marry you and make an honest woman out of you. And I just said, basically, look, pal, I'm not afraid of you. I got my life back together. You had the home field advantage. You know where I'm at? You come and find me. Because if you do, you're not going to like what you find. All my friends and my families know about you. And I said, and by the way, you know, where I'm at, they do have anti-stalking laws. I said, and you're going to go to jail.
Next, we'll meet a young woman whose boyfriend beat her, stalked her, then shot her, just because she didn't want to have his baby. That man is wanted in 2 states. He just might be in your neighborhood.
I just want to first commend you on your courage being on, you know, national TV. I just want to know, do you feel that you're putting yourself in jeopardy being on TV, although you changed, you know, your appearance and everything else, that he'll probably notice.
That's
who
right. You
are.
changed your appearance, but now here you're.
I'm changing it again after the show.
You are?
And I see that's the difference between her and I. I packed up and I moved once, but I'm not moving again. I've drawn the line, and if he crosses it, he's going to have to pay the consequences.
But the question is, are you confident that he can pay the consequences? Are you confident that he can?
Well, I've taken precautions, and I've loaded my deck because, you know, I'm an actress, and my career is starting. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in hiding. I mean, everyone has a choice to make on how they want to live their lives, whether they stay in an abusive relationship because they feel they can't get out of it, whether they run and hide and change their identity, you know.
Them. What's the first thing someone should do, Jerry, if they think they're being stalked?
First thing you have to do is take control. Like a guy, Tom, you have to take control, notify the police, tell all your friends, start taping all your telephone conversations that you may have with him. Or your,
But does it do any good? Can you
it
walk
can work.
into
He
can
may
you walk
say-
into a police station with a telephone conversation?
Well, it may incriminate him. He may say something threatening that may, the police can work on and put him in jail.
And even if that doesn't work, in my case, when I started doing that, I told him, it's not only me now, everybody knows, and if anything happens, they're going to go to you first. And that changed it.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to know,